boring. Where you can feast with the nectar of the gods. You'll always have a seat at Norse Hall.
Welcome everybody to Top Dog Coverage, where we are reaching on our way to 250 subscribers. Little by little, we're getting there. And if you guys want to contribute, you guys can go and follow, okay? You guys can follow everywhere. Everywhere is Top Dog Coverage, okay? You're talking... Whew. Where do we begin, D-Dub? Where do we start?
YouTube. Top.
Yeah,
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, name it. We're there.
Yeah. Big old TikTok move, man. But yes, definitely make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, follow, hit that bell button too. Make sure you're getting the notifications that we are putting up new episodes, because that is what we are doing. We're putting up new episodes every single week. Hey, sometimes 2 times a week, sometimes 3. We've done it before. We're not afraid to, pump up the volume. So
turn on the mics.
Yeah, but
the line.
But I will say this: we are very close to, if not approaching, the first quarter of this season. Almost done. This is how fast football gets here. This is how fast football continues to roll. And Week 4 was a pretty wild week, and Week 5 is slowly approaching already. 2 days before kickoff on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, it seems like these Thursday games, man, it just seems like the weeks are so short, and then Thursday, boom, and then you go into the college games, and then you have just Sundays galore, especially with the international slate happening. Yeah. So you have the game start super early all the way through Sunday night. So we're in the thick of it. I think we are officially a quarter of the season done with fantasy football, right?
Yeah. Pretty much that's what it is. And before we jump into some things, me and C-Dub were talking about a couple different things, and one of the things we're talking about, and we'll give you just a quick waiver wire, nothing crazy, nothing wild, but we were talking over some things. So let's just jump into this real quick before we jump into the news, because these are very, very, very quick waiver wire pickups. All right. Waiver wire. All right. So we were talking about a couple other, pickups and everything like that. And not for nothing, one of the main ones that you have talked about was who? One of the running backs.
Are you talking about in terms of the whole offseason I was talking about this guy?
Yeah. And it's big right now because, not for nothing, he just got like 5 to 6 catches last game. And that, that's just, That
is the great young man, Brashard Smith.
Yeah.
Running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, 7th round pick. Just his profile matches exactly what the Chiefs want to do on offense. He's the only running back in that backfield that has juice right now. Mm-hmm. He's a speedster, former receiver, so he's a great outlet for Patrick Mahomes. He's going to get catches. I believe he played the most amount of snaps that he's done all season in this past game against the Ravens. They're getting him involved, and he's making it work and getting yardage out of these touches. So I think he's just on the rise.
Yeah, and I think it's just not working over there in Kansas City right now. With that run game, you can see that Kareem Hunt is kind of, the older version of himself. And Isaiah Pacheco just forgets what direction to run the ball here. So,
problematic.
Yeah, and you've seen them change direction with running back quickly before, so it wouldn't be a problem if they did it. But another running back that we were discussing, and C-Dub is a little bit on the opposite side of this. He doesn't mind the name, but at the same point, nobody really wants a part of this offense in fantasy. Is the Titans, Tyjae Spears. And they said that they were going to insert him and use him a lot more this year, which I believe. So if you have an IR spot and you do want to stash somebody and you do want to take a chance and you're desperate, go ahead and take a look at Tyjae Spears.
Is he practicing?
I don't know yet, but I know that he is going to be off of IR, I think, this week, I believe. So if you guys are desperate and you need a bench spot and you can spare one, or you have an IR spot, look, maybe that offense is missing, a little bit more of a sparkle with him in there. So I don't know, but
yeah. And can I throw out one more running back just quickly?
Yep.
The Saints are sitting at 0-4 on the season, so I'm not sure when it's going to be a fire sale where they're going to, sell off veterans for draft picks and whatnot. So a name that I would recommend is Kendre Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's a running back behind Alvin Kamara. He's gotten the most amount of touches in this past game. He's slowly been ramping up. New number. He's been, quote unquote healthy this offseason this year. So it's finally getting involved in the offense. You're able to see what he can do. And he actually brings some juice to that backfield. You can see the talent on display. He scored a touchdown. He had 11 carries. So he doesn't get much pass game work, but as a first and second down runner, he is getting touches. So it'd be a name to keep an eye on, especially if the Saints end up potentially moving Kamara for some draft picks or whatnot. He's a guy that could skyrocket in terms of snaps and carries.
Yeah. I'll throw another one out there. He's kind of at the top of the list right now ever since Connor went out from Arizona Cardinals there. Not Benson, but it's DeMarcado. Okay, he's
the third down guy.
Yeah, he's a fast dude too, and he's used mainly in the pass catching. And look, great pass catcher. It's not that he hasn't done it before. He did it last year too, just very silently. But he's had some really good games towards the end of the stretch last year that kind of was eye opening. And look, he might be third in the depth chart there, but this is a really good guy to have. I think if you have a bigger league or a PPR league and you need to, you're stretching to put somebody in there.
Yeah, dart throw.
Yeah, there you go. Just like, put it in there. And, look, he scored a touchdown in the last game. And that was, just when he was called upon. So you never know what can happen. But he's more at the top of the list. But moving, anybody else for like running backs?
No.
I would say moving over to just wide receiver. My big one is I think you and I were discussing is Washington. Was a Malik Washington from Miami. You saw Hill go down.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I also have a spoiler alert for my receiver. Darius Slayton. When Malik Neighbors missed time last year, he was a big part of their offense. They brought him back. He got the Saquon contract. So he's definitely a big play receiver. And with Malik out done for the season, he's a guy that can get some targets, be kind of their downfield threat. Yeah. So I believe last year he averaged 19 points per game with Neighbors out. So I think he's going to be the big play guy and someone you could rely on, especially with Dart in the lineup now.
Yeah. And you know what? If anybody has an extra roster spot, don't knock Bo Collins. See what if you have a spot.
Who's Bo Collins?
He is the wide receiver behind the depth chart behind Malik Neighbors. So he can stretch the field. He's pretty Beaux Collins. That's a wide receiver on the New York Giants. He could be a sneaky pick. He's got some speed, not too bad. But again, he's not going to be on top of the waivers. But keep your eye out open for him and such, because he could really fill that spot really well. Also, I would say Jalen Coker from the Panthers. He's also on IR. He made a big run at the end of last season and started to make some noise. And really, really good pass catcher, good sized body dude. We know Leggett is there. We know that T Mac is over there as well, or Tetaroa, sorry. But Leggett is hurt. The T Mac experience is working, but you can't put it all on his shoulders. And I think once Coker comes back, he can get hit with volume.
You just have to rely on Bryce Young to be a quarterback.
Deliver it. Yeah. So it's but I think those are some pretty good pickups if you guys need some, just some desperate plays and stuff like that. But and I have one big defense because apparently they're still out there. But if the Browns defense is not picked up yet, go pick them up.
There's rumors that they're changing quarterbacks this week too. Dylan Gabriel should be the starter.
Nice. Okay. Well,
and the Vikings and Browns play each other in London this Sunday. So
they do. The Vikings are chilling there right now, just waiting for them to hop the pond.
Yep. I don't know that Vikings defense against a rookie quarterback could be scary.
It could be.
We've seen what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen what they can do. So with that, I don't know if you have any tight ends or anything like that. No, I didn't really go too deep. Just a couple flyers out there that people want to go into. I get people at work hit me up and just be like, "Hey, should I do this? Should I do that?" So I figured I'd put it out in the beginning here, and then
I have like two guys maybe for tight end.
Yeah,
Taysom Hill's coming off the PUP list.
There we go.
So he's practicing. So he's a guy that is always a fantasy darling. He's coming off that torn ACL, but he's used in so many different ways for the Saints, and they're devoid of playmakers right now. So that could help. And then I don't know if he's still going to be out there or not, but Brenton Strange, he seems like to be a favorite target of Trevor Lawrence. Doesn't have any really end zone targets yet, but he gets 5 to 6 catches a game. So just another guy that can get you some decent volume in a PPR league. I mean, the tight end is such a wasteland if you don't have one of the top guys. So
yeah. All right. I mean, just a couple things. It is week 4. You can still salvage your season even if you're 0-4. It's still a possibility. We've seen runs come. Yeah. So these are the type of guys you want. And, we're going to give you the reasons why you should pick these guys up because we are going to dive into... We're going to dive into the news, baby. D-Dub. You want to start us off?
Yeah, I got you. So I'm going to start in your neck of the woods in New York. So the Giants receiver Malik Neighbors suffered a torn ACL on Sunday. So unfortunately, Malik Neighbors' second NFL season has come to an early and abrupt end. The Giants wideout suffered a knee injury midway through the second quarter of Sunday's game. So Dart's debut was kind of tainted a little bit with the loss of Malik Neighbors for the season. So really tough beat for them. They did get the win. They beat the undefeated Chargers, but they lost their number one weapon within the receiving game there. So tough to see, and that means the rest of the Giants receiving core is moving up. So,
yep, and that's these are reasons why you want to check those waiver wires, people. Okay, and
especially if you're a Neighbors owner.
Yeah, and also look at the depth chart. See where these people are: the right, the left, the slot. Make sure you're looking at that. And I'm going to carry right on with that theme. And I'm going to go over to South Beach in Miami. Okay, so the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill suffered a dislocated knee. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel confirmed that Hill dislocated his knee and told media that the star receiver will remain in the hospital overnight. There is no word yet regarding any additional damage to his leg, but the Dolphins quickly announced that he was out of the game when this had happened. It looked bad. I think we all saw it. And when he went down with a tackle from the rookie safety Malachi Moore in the Monday night Jets game. But this is a huge blow right here. And, that's a lot to take away from that offense. You still have Waddle, which is good. On the other hand, you need Malik Washington to step it up. You know, you still have Taj Washington, who I believe is also hurt right now. But they just signed Cedric Wilson over from the Saints practice squad. So we'll see what they can do. And Cedric Wilson has been on the Miami Dolphins before, and he is a bit of a speedster. So we're going to see how that Miami team can run without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, tough beat for injuries this week. Another big one that's going to affect the AFC is Lamar Jackson's likely to miss week 5. Ravens quarterback facing a multi-week absence potentially. So the Ravens endured another loss to the Chiefs, this one in a one-sided defeat that further exposed issues on Baltimore's leaky defense. The team carried some excuses, however, as its starting defense was down more than half of its starters by the game's end. But more pressing matter came when Cooper Rush replaced Lamar Jackson during the second half. Jackson suffered an injury to his right hamstring, later deemed a strain, according to ESPN.com's Jamison Hensley and Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio. The superstar quarterback could not have returned to the game if it were competitive, with John Harbaugh saying there was no way his top player could have come back during the 37-20 loss.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. It's just like, and two big key players for two teams, you know, and it's just the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. It sucks. And, you know, even Dart only had 3 series with him. You know, it would have been great to see what kind of connection they could have established.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's tough for the Neighbors one, but Lamar Jackson, I mean, there's a lot of people that took him pretty high in the draft and expected it to be their guy in fantasy this year. So it's
I was way off on that news clip. I was still thinking about Neighbors for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. We went to Baltimore, but you know, hey.
But I got my news in front of me right now, so just in case people think that it's easy to run a show, it's really not. Our minds are everywhere. I mean, at least we didn't bring up, like, you know, cricket or something like that. We stayed on the focus of football.
Well, there you go. It's brought up now.
But yeah, no, the Ravens, dude, they're already in a bad spot. You know,
tough season for them so far.
Yeah, right now, and that is the last thing they need is their commander on the field, and their general not being able to be on the field. Look, Cooper Rush is going to come in there and do whatever he's got to do. He's proven that he can win on the same end. It is not Lamar Jackson. It is a completely different kind of quarterback. So that's
I don't know. Hit. Yeah, his last couple starts, man, he has not looked good. When he was the spot starter for the Cowboys, it was a season ago, and then, man, I don't know. He came in. It was okay. He got Zay Flowers involved, but I don't know. Hopefully, a full week of preparation can help get him ready. But these Houston defenses, they're pretty decent. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, they're pretty stifling. So. All right, let's go over to Las Vegas. The Raiders to place left tackle Colton Miller on the IR. So Colton Miller signed a second Raiders extension this offseason, locking in the John Gruden era draftee for the long term under yet another new Las Vegas power structure. But the new regime will have a look at what a Miller-less offensive line will look like. Okay, so the Raiders are placing him on IR. According to Ian Rappaport, an MRI on Miller's ankle revealed a high ankle sprain and a hairline fracture. This move will park the Raiders tackle for at least 4 games, leading to big changes up front. This will ensure Miller matches his career high in missed games. He missed 4 in 2023. Otherwise, Miller has been a reliable piece on a Raiders O-line that continues to see turnover. The 8-year blocker is signed to a 3-year, $66 million extension after angling for a new deal during the offseason.
Yeah, it's tough for Vegas there.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, I guess I will go to Cleveland since you took the Vegas news. Browns placed receiver Cedric Tillman on injured reserve and signed receiver Malachi Corley from the practice squad. So the Browns will be without their number 2 wide receiver for a while, as Cedric Tillman Jr. sustained a hamstring injury in the team's loss to the Lions, and the team announced that it will lead to an injured reserve stay. Kevin Stefanski had confirmed via the Akron Beacon Journal's Chris Easterling Tillman would be out in the weeks department. The injured reserve trip will sideline the third-year receiver for at least 4 games. The Browns signed wideouts Malachi Corley and Gage Larvadain to their 53-man roster from the practice squad. Cleveland also waived cornerback Cameron Mitchell, a 2023 fifth-round pick who started 4 games from 2023 to 2024. So although the Browns signed Deontay Johnson, he never appeared to threaten Tillman's spot. Cleveland released the nomadic veteran on roster cutdown day and turned to the player whose role had increased following last year's Amari Cooper trade. Cooper-Bills swap opened the door for more Tillman work alongside Jerry Jeudy, and the former third-round pick did enough to keep that top sidekick gig entering the season. Tillman reached 75 receiving yards in the first 3 starts, teaming with Jameis Winston last year, but could not build on that momentum. So Cleveland enters the season light on receiver experience, carrying Tillman as Judy's top wingman. The only other 2 receivers, Jamari Thrash and rookie undrafted free agent Isaiah Bond, are on the Browns 53-man roster.
All right. So since I wasn't paying attention before, I'm gonna do a little bit more Ravens news. Okay, I'll make up for it. All right.
There we go.
All right. So the Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey and linebacker Roquan Smith both are going to miss some time. The Ravens exited Sunday's game with a 1-3 record and a slew of injuries. Baltimore's efforts to rebound will include missed time from multiple key defenders. Cornerback Marlon Humphrey exited the Ravens' loss to the Chiefs with a calf injury. The ailment is not season-ending, according to Ian Rappaport, and Humphrey is expected to miss multiple weeks. Likewise, linebacker Roquan Smith is dealing with a grade 2 hamstring strain, per Rappaport. Smith is in store to miss time as well. These updates come in the wake of the head coach John Harbaugh announcing Monday that defensive tackle Nnamdi Madubuike will be out of the remainder of the campaign due to a neck injury. Losing the 2-time Pro Bowler for the rest of the season will deal a massive blow to the Ravens along the defensive line. Multiple games spent without Humphrey and Smith will also leave the team notably shorthanded in the secondary and the second level. That's a big blow. That's a lot. That's a lot to take.
Nightmare season for the Ravens here.
Yeah, I mean, next man up, next mentality. You see who pops up, and if they're ready to rock and roll, you know what I mean. So it's that's rough. You're already digging yourself out of a hole. Now you got to really dig yourself out without some of your star players. So. But I think that's it, right? I think we covered most of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I think that's it.
Cool. All right. But I mean, look, these guys, some of these, it's wacky, it's wild, it's Kool-Aid style. And these teams that we always think are going to, they're just going to make it to the playoffs, blah, blah, they're coming up short right now. They're having a tough
there's
time.
No way that team loses to this team.
Yeah. Man. If I had a nickel every time somebody said that, that's kind of what it is. So it's not surprising to us because any given Sunday is exactly what it is. Any given Sunday, anything can happen, And with that, Week 4 reviews. Let's see what happened in Week 4, C-Dub.
Oh, reviews. All right.
Yeah. So, you want to start off with our Thursday?
Yeah. Are we just recapping it or reviewing what our predictions were? I was confused.
No. They're reviewing just the game itself.
Oh, okay. So recapping games. Got it. Yeah, we can start with Seattle and Cardinals. It was actually a really fun Thursday night game. So the Seahawks kind of controlled the game, majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
At Arizona, they had a kind of a flurry comeback in the fourth quarter to make it interesting. But, I think Seattle's someone who we should be taking serious. Their defense is playing lights out. They had another big game. Kyler Murray's connection with Marvin Harrison Jr. starting to ramp up. It's good to see him get a touchdown. But also Sam Darnold continues to be very efficient. So Seahawks are in a good spot. Yeah,
no, they're not bad. You're talking Sam Darnold, 18 for 26, 242 and a touchdown. Not too bad. It looks like he knows what he's doing. Kenneth Walker, 19 carries for 81, and Zach Charbonnet, 12 for 39 and a touchdown, which is perfect. You know, like these guys are making things happen, and it's just one of those division games that you win by 3. It's a field goal kind of game, and he passed it around to everybody. You know what I mean? Smith the Jigba the most, and then he was hitting some of your tight ends on the side. But Smith the Jigba 4 receptions for 79, and out of 5 targets, and not looking too bad. And that's their defense pretty much just kept chasing Kyler around, made it very, very uncomfortable, didn't let him sit in the pocket for too long, made him had to scramble around, and he got flustered, and they kept flushing him out and didn't really have or give him anywhere to go.
Yeah, not till the fourth quarter. This is when he turned it on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly when he turned it on. And if we're going to go to that side of the ball real quick, he carried the ball. He went 27 for 41, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions and sacked 6 times. So, sacked 3 times. No, was he sacked 6 times? Yeah, he was sacked six times, and 5 tackle for losses. So that's going to do it for you, So, when a defense delivers like that, it's going to be very, very hard, So they were trying to run the ball multiple, times as their main guy, John Connor over there. He's not there anymore, and they're trying to
James Conner.
James Conner. Well, he is the Terminator, kind of, right? But yeah, I mean, look, a bunch of targets to Marvin Harrison. Finally got 10 targets, went 6 for 66 and a touchdown. Trey McBride 11 targets, 7 for 52, and that's kind of their main go-tos right there, and that's what they're thriving on. So. They're able to make a game out of it, but at the end, the Seahawks still won by 3. So, anything else with the Thursday night game?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. So, you want to go to the Vikings and Steelers?
Let's do it.
All right. You want to start, or you want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. So, this was a game that the Steelers kind of hammered down, but they also made it a game. they let things happen. So
they had to give Ireland a show.
Yeah, they certainly did. You had Carson Wentz. We'll start on the Minnesota side. Carson Wentz going 30 for 46, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but he was also sacked 6 times. So that's gonna do a lot.
I don't think you ever want Carson Wentz throwing the ball 46 times.
No, you really don't. And the majority of the run game was basically Jordan Mason, 16 for 57, and the passing game being 11 targets to Justin Jefferson, 10 receptions for 126 yards. And the only person really, getting these touchdowns are Jalen Naylor with only 1 target. And then you have Xavier Scott, the running back.
I do have a shout out for Xavier Scott.
Okay.
He is a Dream Bowl alum. So shouts out to Xavier Scott.
There you go.
Or Xavier Scott, excuse me.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the touchdowns didn't go to where everybody wanted to go, but you had two wide receivers over 100 yards. So you had Justin Jefferson, 10 receptions, 126, and Jordan Addison, 4
Welcome back
for 114. Yeah, absolutely. So,
but he kind of had a turning point in the game. I don't know if you got to watch most of it, but he caught this really long pass. I think it was for 81 yards, and he got caught and tackled at like the 1 yard line. So
was it DK Metcalf that caught him?
No, he doesn't play defense.
He did it at one point.
And when they turned the ball over with Seattle, but
yeah, that's I mean, hey, that's a big welcome back game, especially in another country too. Over in Dublin. So, but also you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Didn't have to throw too much, but 18 for 22, 200 yards and a touchdown. And Kenneth Gainwell. Look, had a big game in this one, 19 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, they just kind of ran the ball here and there with some other guys. Even Aaron Rodgers had a couple runs. But, DK Metcalf being called out here, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 126 yards, and a touchdown. One of them being like an 82-yard touchdown or something, or an 80-yard touchdown.
80 yards.
Yeah. So that was kind of kind of the big thing right there. That was the big pass, the big play, and they just kind of got it done. But they were making very, very odd decisions towards the end of the game. So I was told from a bunch of other people, and again, we don't get to see everything. Choosing to pass the ball instead of running the ball, and just some odd things. But they squeaked it out, 24-21, and we'll see what the Steelers do next week. And the Vikings are awaiting the Browns. So.
In London.
Yep. You want to move on to the Commanders and Falcons?
Yeah. So I don't think the game was as close as the score indicates. The Falcons won 34-27. I'll get started with the Atlanta side. Yeah. Michael Penix, he went 20-26 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception, and was sacked 1 time. You also had a pretty big day on the ground. You had 17 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown from Bijan Robinson, and 16 for 51 and a touchdown from Tyler Algier. And Michael Penix carried a few times for 2 yards. But really big Drake London and Bijan game, right? Also, Kyle Pitts got involved quite a bit. So it's good to see that trio, or that quadruple. I don't know, big word there. It's good to see them all get involved and make some stuff happen after being shut out on the scoreboard last week. But you had Drake London. He got 10 targets, turned that into 8 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Bijan got 5 targets, turned that into 4 catches for 106 yards. And Kyle Pitts, 5 targets, 5 catches, 70 yards and a touchdown. So big day for those guys. And, on the Washington side, kind of a tough day.
Yeah.
You had Marcus Mariota go 16-27 for only 156 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, was sacked twice. And just a run game, it seems like they couldn't really get too much going. You had quite a few guys have a pretty decent average. Just no one got over 7 carries, right? Yeah. So you had Chris Rodriguez Jr. get 7 carries for 59 yards. Bill Krosky-Merritt, 7 carries, 47 yards. Mariota had 2 for 20. And a couple other players got some carries for limited yardage. But continues to be the Deebo Samuel show in Washington. He got 6 targets, turned that into 6 catches, 72 yards and a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey, the younger McCaffrey brother, is getting involved in the passing game as well with Scary Terry out. He got 3 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Ertz continues just to kind of not do too much. He got 4 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards. And I believe he fumbled as well, but I don't think he lost it. But just a kind of a weird day for the Washington offense.
Yeah, 6 different people running the ball and 8 different people catching the ball. That's look, it's when your main guy is not there, it's notable. You know what I mean? It's noticeable.
And Samuel's doing a good job of taking on the number 1 role, though. He's been a lot better than he has the past couple seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we good with that one?
I think so.
All right, let's go on to your Saints in Buffalo. And if I may, I'm going to let you take this one because you're going to, you dove into it hardcore. But I will say that when I was able to see some of it, the Saints weren't rolling over, man. They made this a game.
Yeah, I mean, they fought valiantly. It was kind of a weird trick play situation close to the end zone that kind of turned the tides of the game. The game actually was a lot closer than the score indicates. I mean, Bills won 31-19, but Spencer Rattler continued to impress. He was 18 of 27, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked 3 times. He showed a lot of mobility in this game, avoided a lot of sacks, so offensive line was not doing too much issues. Olave was 0 for 1 with an interception. That was the trick play near the goal line before the half that kind of turned the tide of the game. But they were also able to run the ball pretty effectively. You had Alvin Kamara, 15 carries, 70 yards. Kendre Miller got 11 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. Rattler was 6 for 49. And you got Shaheed, 2 for 5. But in the receiving game, you got quite a few different players catch a pass. So Rashid Shaheed, he had 5 targets, 4 catches, 47 yards. Juwan Johnson, 3 targets, 3 catches, 28 yards. Cooks had 4 targets, 3 catches, 22 yards. and kind of a tough catch in the end zone where he dropped a would have been touchdown. It's kind of an off-target throw from Spencer Rattler, though. And then Olave had 6 targets that he only turned into 3 catches for 20 yards and a touchdown. So it's good to see him get on the board in terms of the touchdowns, but just kind of a tough day. I mean, the defense held on for as long as they could till Josh Allen took over, but the offense showed a lot more improvement. There's a lot of penalties, pre-snap penalties that kind of got resolved from prior weeks. So it's good to see them turn that around. But Josh Allen, he kind of just took the game over. He was 16 to 22 for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and he was sacked 3 times. So the defense was finally able to generate a turnover, was able to get some pressure on Mr. Allen. But the run game kind of killed them. James Cook, 22 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Allen was 7 for 45 and a touchdown, and he had a few other players get a carry. But it seems like Khalil Shakir was kind of the favorite target for Mr. Josh Allen. He had 5 targets, 5 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Keon Coleman continues to do well. He had 4 targets, 3 catches, 45 yards. And Dalton Kincaid, 2 targets, 1 catch, 28 yards, and a touchdown. And you had some other players get involved, a few catches, but pretty tough loss for the Saints because they were in it the entire game, and one kind of tough play call and goes out the window.
Yeah, it was tough, and I was watching some of that game, and I was like, damn, they stuck in this game. They really did. They didn't let it go. Everybody counted it as a chalk up, and they didn't let that happen. They got the ball back in time where they could have taken the lead, and it was just hard to do against that team. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell that they had a lot more juice, a lot more energy than the Bills did.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Can I move over to another team that was about the kind of like the same game there?
Yeah.
The Browns going to Detroit. This game was like, I'm gonna say this now. This game was like 20-10 most of the game. If you look at the score, it does look like they got blown out, but for a majority of the time, it was like 20-10. That's pretty close. So,
and just for clarification, this is Lions Browns.
Yep, Lions Browns. Yep.
Okay.
So the Browns going into the Lions den, and Joe Flacco started off. He went 16 for 34, 184 yards, and 2 interceptions. He couldn't really get it going. And Dylan Gabriel came in for 1 attempt. But look, Quinshon Judkins, okay, 21 carries for 82 and a touchdown. So it's safe to say that he's pretty much leading that back over there. And everybody else was just kind of trickle plays. You had 6 targets, 9 targets, 4 targets, 6 targets, but no more than 4 receptions. So Isaiah Bond, 3 for 58. Jerry Jeudy, 3 for 48. He kind of continues to kind of disappoint a little bit. Not always his fault, but he's just not, it's just hard. And Quinshon Judkins in the pass game too, 4 for 33. So, and Harold Fannin doing his thing too, and David Njoku, those tight ends with 2 catches each. So just really hard for them to get everything rocking and rolling. And the Lions kind of took advantage of that, even though they have a really tough defense over there in Cleveland, they still took advantage of the opportunities that they had. You had Jared Goff going 16 for 27, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Jahmyr Gibbs here, okay, 15 carries, 91 yards and a touchdown. Montgomery starting to slowly fade back a little bit, 9 carries for 12 yards, and it's it's starting to space out a little bit here on who's really becoming that cowbell. And Amon-Ra had 7 targets, 7 receptions for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a game he had! What a game he had. A little alarming with this one. 8 targets, but only 2 receptions for Jameson Williams. I don't know if there's a disconnect there. He only had 40 yards in the game. Don't know if that's scheme or what have you, but something you might want to take a look at. Maybe they're just not on the same page. But other than that, it was pretty cut and clear. Lions at the end of this game just started to take off with it, and was able to get to the quarterback a couple times, and I think their offense just got the ball out of their hands very, very quickly, knowing that Browns defense was coming. Even though they had one interception, they had no sacks in this game. They had 5 QB hits and 4 tackles for a loss, but no sacks. So I think they were just playing the way that the Browns are playing. Playing that chess game. So.
Yeah.
But another team that's just kind of staying in the game as long as they can until somebody kind of pulls away. So, but with that, there is one team that pulled away early and often. If you want to go over the New England game,
Yeah, we can be pretty brief with this one. I mean, this one was 28-6 at halftime.
yeah,
So
wild,
this was over
wild.
before it started, and it's pretty crazy to think that it was that much of a blowout when there wasn't any turnovers in the game.
Yeah.
Right. So you had Bryce Young. He was 18 of 30 for 150 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked once. You had Andy Dalton come in. He was 5 for 6, 58 yards and a touchdown. Hubbard, 10 carries, 49 yards. Trevor Etienne, 7 carries, 33 yards. Rico Dowdle, 9 carries, 32 yards. And a couple other players had 1 rush. But just couldn't get much going on the ground. I mean, the game was out of hand quickly. In terms of the passing game, you had 8 targets for T-Mac. He had 4 catches, 62 yards. Tommy Trimble, 8 targets, 5 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown. And then 4 targets for Bryson Tremaine. He also turned that into 3 catches, 36 yards. Mitchell Evans, 4 targets, 3 catches, 23 yards and a touchdown. And Hubbard got 3 targets, 3 catches, 20 yards. And kind of a tough day for the rest of the receiving group there.
Yeah.
But on the Victor side, on the New England Patriots side, you had Drake May go 14 of 17 for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, was sacked once. You had Ramondre Stevenson get 9 carries, 38 yards. Travion Henderson, 7 carries, 32 yards and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson, 6 carries, 27 yards and a touchdown. Drake May, 3 carries, 11 yards and a touchdown. So
just doing it on the ground, dude.
Yeah, just massive day on the ground there. And they actually rushed for less yards than the Panthers did. So
wild.
And you had a big Stephon Diggs breakout game. He had 7 targets, 6 catches, 101 yards, and no other player had more than 2 catches. So
wild.
It was the Stephon Diggs show. I think special teams really played a big part in this because you had Marcus Jones return a punt, 87 yards for a touchdown. So tough day for the Panthers, great day for the Patriots.
Yeah. We're going to move on to a game that everybody had a lock on, and we thought differently. So let's go to New York, where the Los Angeles Chargers made their way across the country to play the New York Giants. Okay. Everybody had this locked in. You and I said, we don't know. We don't think so. Yeah. And we put our stamp on it.
For the Chargers, is this a dart or a sharp?
So it's a sharp for everybody who bet on the Chargers. It's a dart for us, baby. I like that. Well done, sir. Let's start off with the Los Angeles side, okay? Justin Herbert going 23 for 41, 203 yards, a touchdown, but 2 interceptions, okay? That front 4 was coming at him, okay? That front 4 was not making it look comfortable for him. They were making him rethink his options, what he can do, what he can't do. And they were just being physical with that line. And then Joe Alt goes out, and then it makes it even harder to do those things. So
yeah, they were already dealing with injuries, and it just made it even worse.
Yeah, and then you got Marion Hampton, 12 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. He had some breakouts that just looked amazing. But look, QJ, Quentin Johnston, QJ here, 13 targets. 8 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Okay, that is just massive. Keenan Allen, 5 for 37, along with Marion Hampton on the pass game, 5 for 37 as well. So, and you had McConkey was kind of a no-show in this game. Even though he had 6 targets, but only had 1
tough
reception.
Season for him.
Yeah, it really is. And so it was a little bit rough, even though their defense, Los Angeles' defense, pulled off 6 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss. That is huge, and 9 quarterback hits. But the great rookie Jackson Dart came in, okay, and we said we don't think that they were going to know how to prepare for him. And it's different not having film in the NFL. You can go back to Ole Miss and see what he did, but he went 13 for 20, 111 yards, one touchdown, okay? He got hurt at one point for a concussion. Russell Wilson came in, made one completion, but then he came back in, okay? So then Cam Scatterbo, 25 for 79. Jackson Dart had 10 for 54 and a rushing touchdown coming in. And everything else was very low standards here, okay? The most was 4 or 5 targets at once, but, 3 receptions. So Darius Slayton, Malik Neighbors got hurt in this. Obviously, we told you that before. Tore his ACL, but they still found a way to win with Theo Johnson going 3 for 17 and a touchdown. Look, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, but 12 QB hits. They were putting the pressure on. They were getting through that offensive line. So shout outs to the Giants not letting it go. Even down to the 2 minutes, it really showed their strength, their grit, and they move on. So shout outs to everybody who had faith in the Giants this past week.
Giants move on to New Orleans next, so
they do.
You get to go through the whole Dart experience yet again.
Oh yeah, let's why don't you take us to the Buccaneers hosting the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean this one was a tough one. As most of you guys already know, I'm a big Baker Tampa Bay believer, and they kind of got beat up and threw this game. It was 31-25. Eagles win. Eagles did not complete a pass in the second half, which is pretty incredible. But
that's kind of wild.
Yeah, so Jalen Hurts, 15 of 24 for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, was sacked twice. All the production came in the first half. He also had Hurts lead the team in rushing. He had 9 carries, 62 yards. Saquon was 19 for 43 and a touchdown. A.J. Dillon got involved for 3 carries and 17 yards. But in the passing game, this also continues to be A.J. Brown's on the milk carton. Where is A.J. Brown? All right. He turned 9 targets into 2 catches for 7 yards. So I think we have a problem in Philly. We got to figure this offense out. But they are 4-0. So it's just kind of like, But you had Dallas Goedert. You had Dallas Goedert lead the team. 4 targets, 4 catches, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon, 4 targets, 4 catches, 31 yards. And Devonta Smith had 2 targets, 2 catches, 29 yards. But, weird day for the Philly offense, but they found a way to win, squeaked it out the end. On the flip side, Tampa Bay, you had Baker go 22 of 40 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked twice. Bucky Irving continues to put on a show. He had 15 carries, 63 yards. Rachaad White got 6 carries for 17 yards. Baker was 2 for 13. And Bucky, 5 targets, 5 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Emeka Egbuka, 10 targets, 4 catches, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Rachaad White had 5 targets, 4 catches, 29 yards. And Chris Godwin Jr., welcome back. 10 targets, turned that into 3 catches for 26 yards. So just overall, some kind of tough day. Turnovers kind of really derailed the Bucs, but shouts out to Philly. They're 4-0.
Just wait. I mean, Bucky having over 100 on the ground, or I'm sorry, Bucky having over 100 in the air, and Egbuka the same, and then Chris Godwin having 10 targets. Just wait till those wheels get rolling with Godwin back in the slot.
And then Mike Evans gets healthy.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. This will be very, very difficult. Just kind of like pick your poison at that point,
Mm-hmm.
But all right, let's go to Titans and Texans. All right, where the Titans just looked completely like lackadaisical here. Yeah. 10 for 26, Cam Ward, 108 yards and an interception. Got sacked twice. Tony Pollard, 14 for 64. Couldn't really get anything going on the ground. And, you're talking the most receptions was Tony Pollard, 3 for 12. 7 targets thrown to Alec Ayomanor, but he went 2 for 44. So they couldn't really get much done. Their defense only had 2 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss. But that's pretty much it. While Houston, you have C.J. Stroud going 22 for 28, 233 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Woody Marks 17 for 69, and Nick Chubb 13 for 47. Okay, Woody Marks had also a touchdown in that. Sorry. So 17 for 69 for Woody Marks and a touchdown, and a great block. If anybody saw that, he leveled his man when he came through, and he made sure that the quarterback was not getting touched. So, C-Dub's hat, no block, no rock. So my man is definitely about to get the rock. But Nico Collins turning 6 targets into 4 receptions and 79 yards. Woody Marks also had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. When Jaden Higgins had 1 solid, reception for 24 yards and a touchdown. So, look, they're, defense, 2 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, 7 pass defense, and 7 quarterback hits. So when your offense and defense is working out pretty good, that's the kind of day you're going to have. And, they're on to the next, and Tennessee Titans are going to have to find a way with this rookie. So let's anything to say on that one?
No, I mean, it's a tough beat for Titans fans.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's move on to a pretty good game, exciting game. Colts and Rams. You wanna start that one?
Yeah, Daniel Jones came back down to earth a little bit, but still kept his team in it throughout the very end. Daniel Jones was 24 of 33 for 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, was sacked twice. Rams defense is no joke, so it's good to see him perform somewhat well against them. Jonathan Taylor was 17 carries, 76 yards on the ground. He also had a run for a touchdown that got called back for a holding on A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
So it's tough to see that because I would have put them over at the top and in the lead. So just mistakes across the board. But A.D. Mitchell had 4 targets, 3 catches, 96 yards. Super talented player, just made 2 really key mistakes. First fumbling out of the back of the end zone before he scored, and then that hold that kept Jonathan Taylor's touchdown off the board. But Tyler Warren continues to impress. He had 6 targets, 5 catches, 70 yards, and a rushing touchdown as well. Mm-hmm. So great rookie. He had 10 targets for Michael Pittman Jr., turned that into 5 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. And Josh Downs, 5 targets, 4 catches, 24 yards. It seems kind of still slow to get him involved in the offense. But, they have playmakers making plays across the board. Tough beat for the Colts. I mean, they kind of lost on, what would you say, that was blown coverage? Stafford, the 88-yard touchdown, the Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
He was wide open.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass, too.
Beautiful. Old man Stafford, 29 of 41, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, was sacked 3 times. You had Kyren Williams take 13 carries, 77 yards. Blake Corum, 9 carries for 21 yards. And it continues to be the Puka show. Puka Nacua went off, 15 targets, 13 catches, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. And Devontae Adams continues, everyone thought he was going to take a lot of looks away from him. Nope. Puka's still getting the bulk of every pass on his way. But Devontae took 6 targets, turned that into 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell had the game-winning touchdown, 2 targets, 1 catch, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And a few other players got some targets across the board. But, really good showing by the Rams defense. And the Rams kind of were not wanting to win this game throughout it. The Colts fought hard, but Rams took the dub.
Yeah, the Colts still looked pretty good. I'm not going to say they didn't. That's a tough defense to go against. Daniel Jones still stepping up. He didn't turn into a pumpkin, but they definitely put him back down to earth. I will say that.
Yeah. There were some kinks in his armor.
Yeah, definitely some kinks in his armor. Let's move over to the Jaguars and 49ers. Okay. Jacksonville Jaguars taking a dub 26-21 over the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. So Trevor Lawrence went 21 for 31, 174, and a touchdown. Travis Etienne had a game, 19 carries, 124 yards, and a touchdown with a 48-yard run. And everything else was you got 7 targets to Brian Thomas Jr. and Brenton Strange. Brian Thomas turned it into 5 receptions, 49 yards, and Brenton Strange turned it into 6 receptions for 45 yards, with Hunter Long getting 3 receptions for 23 and a touchdown. Travis Hunter is finally getting a little bit of a game in there, 3 for 42, as he does play, both sides of the field there. So, but we'll say that there were 2 interceptions on their defense. So their defense kind of lit it up a little bit, and they were making things happen. Their kick returns also 78 yards altogether, and making sure that they got down the field to put everybody in position to go where they had to go, and moving it over to the San Francisco side of the field. Brock Purdy went 22 for 38, but still throwing for 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey went 17 for 49, and kind of did his thing, but didn't really bring the numbers to where everybody expects him to. Christian McCaffrey did have 11 targets in the air, though, at 6 for 92 and a touchdown there. And then Jake Tongas, 3 receptions for 58 and a touchdown as well. And everybody else just kind of spurted here and there, with Ricky Pearsall, 4 for 46. And they were just finding ways to just trickle the ball here and there, to right, the left, and in the middle. So, but look, no sacks from the San Francisco, which everybody expects this defense to do. No quarterback hits, but 6 tackles for a loss. And you know what? When you don't get that, usually people who have the turnover game and they win that turnover game, they win the ball game. So that's the way it went. 26-21. Jaguars took it away. So
yeah, 49ers defense did not look good.
No, they didn't. They did not. And with that, we can go to a big game that everybody wanted to go see. You want to start? You want to take us away with the Ravens and Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the game was nearly as close as the score even kind of remotely indicates.
Yeah.
The Chiefs won 37-20. We already discussed it earlier. Baltimore is dealing with a lot of defensive injuries and lost 2 more starters on defense during the game. Also, they lost their quarterback during the game. But Lamar Jackson went 14-20, 147 yards, a touchdown and interception. Cooper Rush, in relief of Lamar, came in, completed 9 passes on 13 attempts for 52 yards. On the Ravens side, it was really just the Justice Hill show. He had 3 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And he also had 5 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson had 6 carries, 48 yards, and Derrick Henry went 8 for 42.
Yeah.
So looks good on paper with 17 carries for 166 yards, but overall, it was kind of inept at that point. The game had been well out of hand. And on the receiving side, you had Zay Flowers, 8 targets, 7 catches, 74 yards. Mark Andrews had 8 targets, turned that into 7 catches, 30 yards, and just a few catches for a few other players. Lamar lost a fumble. So turnovers really derailed this team. But we had a vintage Patrick Mahomes game, 25-37, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns, was sacked 1 time. Looked good. They looked like the offense was back. They really did well with Xavier Worthy coming back. They got him involved quite often.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 carries, 38 yards, and also 5 catches for 83 yards. But the run game, they still just couldn't get much going. You had Pacheco go 7 for 35, Kareem Hunt go 13 for 34, Brashard Smith 4 for 9, Patrick Mahomes was 4 for 5. But Travis Kelce, 5 catches, 48 yards, Hollywood Brown 3 for 38 and touchdown, Juju Smith-Schuster 4 for 36 and a touchdown, Brashard Smith had 3 for 27, and Isaiah Pacheco had 2 for 13 and a touchdown. So, offense looked good. Chiefs kind of dominated. They've kind of had the Ravens number over the last X amount of years. I think since Mahomes has been a starter. So, puts Ravens in a really big hole.
Yeah, it really does. And not their starting quarterback either. So they're going to have to find a way And it's going to be more difficult than people think. They got injuries. They have a lot of injuries over there. So, move on to Bears and Raiders.
Yep.
Close game here. So could have gone either way, but the Chicago Bears took a squeak by win 25-24 in Las Vegas at the Raiders. Caleb Williams went for 22 for 37, 212 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. DeAndre Swift went 14 for 38 and a touchdown. Keep an eye on this. Kyle Monangai is going to start getting more and more and more carries. Okay, he only had 4 in this, but that doesn't mean that he's not
Swift
going to
has that
start.
injury too, right?
Huh?
Swift has that thigh injury.
Yeah. They're on their bye this week coming up, but that's kind of look, it's going to be wild. He's going to come up. This kid has never fumbled at Rutgers, so he puts 2 hands on the ball, like the way the kid runs. So beware of that. But going to the receiving side, Rome Odunze 8 targets, 4 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kmet had 9 targets, but turned it into 346. And Alameda, I can never say his name. Alamide Zacchaeus, 5 for 41. And
Alameda Zacchaeus.
Yeah, that I can't say that. Sorry. But yeah, jumping over to the Raiders side, Geno Smith went 14 for 21, 117, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Again, crucial. Ashton Jeanty finally just exploded. 21 carries, 138, and a touchdown. This is exactly what they drafted him for. And if you go over to the passing part, the passing side and the receiving ends, 6 targets for Brock Bowers, turned it into 5 receptions and 46 yards. Jacoby Myers had 7 targets and he went 4 for 30. But then you had Ashton Jeanty in the air, 2 targets, grabbed both targets for 2 touchdowns and 17 yards. So that was the big game for Jeanty. And, that was the closest that they were going to get. The Chicago just kind of eased it out. You know what I mean? They were able to stop, get by with the win. And
well, special teams continues to just impact games. Like they blocked a field goal to win the game.
Yeah,
like it's crazy how often this has happened in the first few weeks of the season.
It's a lot. It's right? A ton.
So Ashton Jeanty going back to his Michael Myers stance showed that he's don't fix what's not broken.
Word.
If he wants to stand like that, let him stand like that.
Yeah.
Rookie B.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where you could try and change a player, but obviously if it's not working and he can't get settled in, just go back to go back to the basics with him. You know what I mean? If you're going to turn this kid into something that he's not, and then he has a poor career because of it, dude, then you're not helping the business at that point. You're not helping the organization. So,
well, I don't know if the stance really actually had that much to do with it, but hey, it's weird that he didn't have his regular stance the first few games, and then the 1 week he does, he goes off. So
he does. I'm telling you.
Let you guys be the judge of that. But let's go to the Sunday night game.
Yeah. Take us to this tiebreaker, man.
There's no tiebreaker. It's just ties.
Just ties.
These were just 2 completely equal franchises on this night. I mean, it was incredible. The game, phenomenal. It sucks that it ended in a tie.
Yeah.
But just an incredible game overall. I mean, quarterback masterclass. Jordan Love was 31 of 43 for 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, sacked 1 time. Dak Prescott, 31 of 40, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack. Run game. I'm just doing this based off of team averages.
You're good.
Green Bay ran the ball 35 times, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dallas, 26 carries, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving, 31 catches, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns. 31 catches, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns on Dallas. So, absolutely incredible game. I mean, you had Jordan Love who fumbled, which was the one mistake in the game, really.
Yeah.
Really got wonky towards the end in overtime when they tried to rush that ending play and almost ran out of time. He got really lucky that the pass hit Golden and went down immediately to keep that 1 second to tie the game. But absolutely incredible game. You had big performances from Javonte Williams, George Pickens, Josh Jacobs, Romeo Dobbs, Matthew Gold and Tucker Kraft almost had 2 touchdowns. So great
Yeah,
overall
Romeo
game.
Dobbs having 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's not hard to miss him with the guardian cap on.
No.
So absolutely incredible game. It sucks that it had to end the way it did, but 2 quarterbacks just absolutely going at it and incredible performances.
Is it safe to say that maybe, I don't want to say elite, but Javonte Williams is here?
I think he's finally fully back to his pre-injury form.
Yeah, I mean, 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown, and taking 3 receptions for 15. Look, those are some good numbers, man, for a running back, for somebody that's been trying to get back on the horn, back on the ball for the past 2 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? And it's glad that you're happy to see a healthy Javonte Williams. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, first tie of the season. There it is.
First tie since what, 2022, 2023?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move on from that banger into banging my head into the desk.
As you should.
To South Beach. I'm gonna go to Miami, and I'm gonna get an aspirin with this one.
Yeah, you got something bad.
The New York Jets went down to Miami, and Justin Fields went 20 for 27, 226, and a touchdown. Justin Fields had 7 carries, 81, and a touchdown. Okay,
athletic freak.
He is. Breece Hall went 14 carries for 81, with 5 for 30 in the air. Okay, so he had a pretty good day. Braylon Allen went 4 carries for 26 and fumbled it on the goal line. Okay, this was a huge turn of the game. This was not helping anything. Garrett Wilson had, again, and I'm going to say this, 2 amazing catches. Every primetime game, he always seems to be showing somebody up.
He's a monster.
I don't think they should have called that. I don't think it was a push off. It is what it is. He had a very good stretch out. It is, but then they threw it back to him again, and he made an even tougher catch in the end zone. He came down with it. So
tough day for Jets versus refs too.
Yeah, they were not liking us whatsoever. I mean, you talk about Joe Tippmann getting his helmet pushed off. That's got to be hands to the face, and they called a holding, which we were, Jets were holding, but like they would offset and you would but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Being pushed back 10 yards. But.
Yeah. But if you go over to Tua's side, 17 for 25, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is the game where Tyreek Hill got hurt and he was out. Devon Achane, he looked really, really good. 20 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Ollie Gordon, he looked very powerful. He didn't get many yards, went 6 for 10, but he looked very, very powerful. Tyreek Hill did, before he was out, 6 receptions and 67 yards. Jalen Waddle is going to get a lot of volume after this. He had 6 targets for 3 and 48. But Darren Waller, 3 receptions for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nobody saw that one coming. But look, the Jets gave up the ball 3 times. Okay, when you commit 13 penalties for 101 yards and you give the ball up 3 times and the game was still 27-21, you're not going to win the game that way. If you eliminate half of those penalties, you could probably win the game. Or if you take away 2 of those, costly fumbles, or it's just it's bad. And the special teams was pretty bad too, even though I like Banjo. But look, Isaiah Williams fumbles it right on the kickoff. When you get the ball back, you're trying to get the momentum back, and he fumbles it right off the bat. And then he has a fair catch off of a punt on the 2-yard line. Like, what are you doing? These are mistakes that can't be made. You let the ball go out of bounds. Let the ball go into the touchback. Like, why you're fair catching it? It was frustrating. It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I completely get it. Let's. Anything else you want to add to that game?
No, I don't think anybody wants to add to that game.
Well, I don't think anybody else wants to talk about the next game either in terms of frustration. You had the Denver Broncos just completely beat down the Cincinnati Bengals 28-3 for the second Monday night football game there.
Yeah.
I think as many alarms and flags should be like going off. We have to have like a come to Jesus moment with the Bengals. Something needs to change. Something needs to happen. They cannot continue playing games like this. The offense looks putrid. The defense is being set up for failure. Jake Browning went 14 to 25, 125 yards, was sacked 3 times. You had in the terms of the ground game, you had 10 carries, 40 yards for Chase Brown. A few other players got a couple carries.
Yeah.
In the receiving game, you got 6 targets to T. Higgins, turned that into 3 catches, 32 yards. Jamar Chase, 8 targets, 5 catches, 23 yards, and a few catches for some other players. Just absolute abysmal performance. Now, Denver has a really good defense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. Your Bengals are 2-2, so they're still in the thick of it. So they need to make a move. They can't keep playing this putrid offense. This team looks awful, and I don't see any hope in the future if they don't make a move.
Yeah.
At quarterback.
I agree. I agree. Like call for Kirk Cousins. See what that's looking like. Look at Jameis Winston. Like do something here. You got to do something.
There needs to be some sort of change. I don't care what it is. Something needs to change. If it doesn't work, whatever. But this just proves how great Joe Burrow truly is. I mean, yes, they missed the playoffs last year, but they were competitive.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely they were.
But to flip it on the other side for the winners, Denver. So Bo Nix continues to kind of be your turnover machine. He threw another interception.
Okay.
But he was 29 of 42 for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. J.K. Dobbins finally broke the streak. He finally got over 100 yards for the Denver Broncos. But 16 carries, 101 yards. R.J. Harvey had 14 carries for 58 yards. Marvin Mims was 1 for 16 and a touchdown. And Bo Nix, 6 for 7 and a touchdown. Continues to get Cortland Sutton involved. He had 6 targets, 5 catches, 81 yards. Marvin Mims Jr., 6 targets, 6 catches, 69 yards. Troy Franklin got 8 targets, turned that into 4 catches, 55 yards. R.J. Harvey was 5, 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. And a few other players got about some catches and whatnot. But it was an overall dominating performance from Denver. They look good. They beat up on a kind of a flailing Bengals team and, put to bed interesting week 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all of week 4 that we went over. And not for nothing, wild week 4. You know what I mean? Every week is when everybody thinks that something easy is going to happen, try again. Because we don't know, they don't know, and nobody does. And
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. That's for sure. So, but shout outs to our sponsors for bringing the week 4, reviews. FGM Label. You go to Instagram. You guys want some awesome tunes, some music, and just some stuff that can make it just a little bit more entertaining for your show, or perhaps you're an artist of some sort and you're looking for some music. Go to FGM Label on Instagram, and also NorthStashHall.com. Okay, you guys like some hot sauce? Some mead? What is mead? Mead is a honey wine that the Vikings used to drink. So, skull. Anyway, no, that wasn't a good one, huh?
No.
Okay. All right.
Keep that in the chamber. Yeah, keep that in the bag.
But go to NorthStashHall.com. You don't have to listen to my jokes, but you can buy some awesome hot sauce and some mead. So go to NorthStashHall.com, based out of West Virginia. So, exiting out of week 4 and proceeding into week 5. Okay. Let's go over some of the we don't have to go over, but we have some bye week. Okay, so we got
Packers, Bears.
Packers. There's somebody missing though. Who do you got?
The only ones I remember are Packers and Bears.
Okay. Let me look at this. Here we go. We got the Atlanta Falcons, the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. So these are your buys for this weekend. So make sure you guys look at it accordingly for your fantasy lineups. Make sure that everything is adjusted correctly. Make sure you have people that can cover. Okay. Yeah. So those are the four. We'll go over it one more time. The Falcons, Bears, Packers, and the Steelers are all week 5 buys. But with that said, do you want to do a
And
little?
just as a reminder, the Browns Vikings game is a London game, so it is bright and early for those West Coasters, Central Time Zones. Those
Indeed.
guys. So keep an eye on that too.
Indeed. C-Dub, I think it's time for a little week 5 predictions, my friend.
Yeah, I think it's that time.
So, would you like to start off, or would you like me to start off?
I can start off. You have
Okay.
the division matchup, San Francisco 49ers versus the LA Rams. I think San Francisco is the all-hurt team right now, so give me the Rams at home.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. International game. Minnesota waiting in London for the Brownies to make their way over there. Look, you got a rookie quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings or for the Browns, and Minnesota Vikings are chilling, waiting. This is going to be a game of defenses, but you know what? With Dylan Gabriel, I'm sorry, give me the Vikings.
Very nice. All right, you have the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the Indianapolis Colts. I think Raiders are kind of reeling right now. Ashton Chinty's finally breaking out, but I think the Colts are a better team, especially the way Daniel Jones is playing. So give me the Colts at home.
All right, Colts at home. New York Giants going over to the New Orleans Saints. Giants and Dart and company are coming off a big win. The Saints just realized that they could really stop a powerhouse team for most of the game. Look, I'm going to take the Saints at home with a squeak by win with a field goal.
All right, so you have the Dallas Cowboys visiting the New York Jets. So I think this is going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Dallas is coming off that super emotional Sunday night game against the Packers. Jets are coming off the excruciating loss against the Dolphins on Monday night. Give me the Jets at home. I think Justin Fields is going to be too much of an athlete for Dallas to handle.
All right. Big game here. Denver and Philadelphia. Denver is making his way to the Eagle Stadium in Lincoln. And you know what? I think Denver is going to create the upset. I think they're going to study hard for this one. And I believe that they're going to keep the ball away from Jalen Hurts. Give me the Denver Broncos on the road.
All right, you have the Miami Dolphins versus the Carolina Panthers. No Tyreek, no problem. Give me the Dolphins on the road.
There you go. Houston Texans going into Baltimore. No Lamar Jackson. A lot of defensive players hurt. You know what? I think this defense is going to be too much for Cooper Rush. Give me the Texans.
All right. So you have the lowly Tennessee Titans visiting the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Titans franchise is in shambles. I think Cam Ward's a player, but just not getting the support he needs from the rest of the team. Give me the Arizona Cardinals at home.
All right. Baker Mayfield and company heading over to the West Coast, Seattle. Look, he's just been a stud and a dog, and I don't think that is going to change. Give me the Bucs on the road against this tough Seattle defense.
All right. You have the Detroit Lions visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. As we discussed it, the Bengals are just not a good franchise right now. Their offense looks horrible. Lions are on a roll. Give me the Detroit Lions.
Washington going over to Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers just realized that they can be beat, and I think this is going to be a comeback game. Not really sure if the quarterback for Washington, Jaden Daniels, is going to be healthy enough to run around like he used to, so give me the Chargers.
All right, so Sunday night, you had the New England Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills. Drake May and company have been playing great. They just come off that huge offensive performance. Buffalo Bills are kind of flat, kind of a tough performance against the Saints. But I do think Josh Allen's going to be too much. Give me the Bills at home on Sunday night.
All right.
All
for Sunday night. And you know what? Monday Night Football. Here it is. Kansas City and the Jaguars. I think Kansas City's starting to get a little bit more of a, flow here. So I don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to keep up. I think they're going to be stifled. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs away.
There it is.
There it is. I think every time we try to do this for shorts as well. Obviously, right? We want to put it up and put it for our fan base. But, what people don't know is that sometimes we can get into, who, what, where, how, and when, but we
More
have a
depth.
certain time frame that we have to keep that under. And
I think that was some of our best work there to
I
keep it
think
under.
it was, yeah. I definitely think it was. It's not easy running. It's not easy being cheesy. So it's
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
I gotta start getting some other stuff in here for like different movies and football movies and such. So
Yeah, for sure. Some
That-
commercials.
yeah, that would be some pretty good ones. But that there it is, Baker.
He
Baker
said enough.
That's that's a Baker dog of the week right there. But if you guys haven't yet, make sure you swipe up on Spotify, Apple, leave a comment, 5 stars. Okay, make sure everything is going well. Make sure everything's going good. Follow YouTube, X, or Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Okay, make sure that you guys are following us. Okay, because we are gonna deliver for you. All right, so week 5 is here. Set your lineups. We love you guys. Make sure that you love us back. Hit that follow
And-
button.
Remember, no block, no rock.
Word. We
Peace.
out. Later.